Hi everyone, this is Zoe Gilbert. Welcome to my final book critique video. For our feature text today, we have One Plastic Bag, and this is the true story of Isatu Sese and the recycling women of the Gambia. So Isatu was a young woman when she noticed that plastic pollution was becoming a growing problem in her community. A recurring theme throughout the book is this idea of small actions leading to a big impact. So you can see here that one plastic bag becomes 2, then 10, then 100. Isatu knew that she had to do something about this. Isatu came up with a plan to reuse the plastic bags in a way that would be practical and helpful for other women in her community. I would connect this to a language arts activity along the same theme of small actions leading to a big change. So students would create a video for Earth Month, and it would demonstrate different ways to go green. So the examples I chose for this video were to recycle, save water, and to reduce waste. But students could easily create a video using Biteable. The software is very easy to use, and then they could share their videos through the school's social media platform. Moving on, we have a social studies activity, and this connects the idea that students can make their community a better place by solving problems to promote the common good. So much like Isatu Sese, students would create an invention from recycled materials. Students could then share their invention with the local community at perhaps an Earth Month event, or in an invention convention, or a science fair, or a similar community event. But students could showcase their inventions in a gallery walk or a similar format. Moving on from our feature text, we have this book, Grand Canyon, and even though this is an informational book, it actually won a Caldecott Honor Award because of its amazing illustrations. So this book follows a young girl and her father on a field trip to the Grand Canyon, but it really focuses on the scientific and historical significance of the Grand Canyon. Perhaps my favorite aspect of this book is how some of the pages fold out to form this amazing, expansive view of the Grand Canyon. Moving on, we have the Tale of Despero. This would definitely fall into the realm of modern fantasy. It's about this little mouse who's not very mousy at all. He actually wants to be a knight. He doesn't want to scamper and scurry. And he's a very courageous little mouse, and he actually ends up falling in love with a princess. So this book, I think, would be a great one to teach about character traits and character growth. Moving on, we have The Song of the Water Boatman and Other Pond Poems. So the illustrations in this book are really beautiful, but something I really appreciate is the wide variety of poems in this book. You can see here a concrete poem on the left, and that is a poem that looks like the subject matter. But also on the right, you can see poems that are divided into stanzas based on the different seasons. So this would really allow students to see many different forms of poetry. Here we have One Crazy Summer, and this actually won the Scott Odell Award for historical fiction. It's set in the late 1960s, and it's about these 3 sisters who moved from New York to California to live with their estranged mother. And the girls actually end up encountering the Black Panther movement during this time, so I think this is a great book to introduce the civil rights movement and other cultural things going on at that time. So, and along a similar vein, we have Martin's Big Words, and this is obviously based on the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This book, the realistic illustrations really help immerse you in the story, and the quotes by Dr. Martin Luther King are all big and bold and colorful, and they help show the impact of his words. Here we have Lon Po Po, a Red Riding Hood story from China. Something that I think would be really interesting to do with students with this book would be to compare and contrast the Red Riding Hood story they know with the one from China, so discuss similarities and differences. But then also, if you look at the illustrations, they're all arranged into panels. So you could discuss with students how that connects to the culture of China. Finally, last but not least, we have Because of Winn-Dixie. This is by the same author as the Tale of Despero. So in this book, Opal ends up adopting this scruffy big dog in a supermarket, and she names him after the supermarket, Winn-Dixie. But Opal had just moved with her father to this new town, and this book explores themes of loneliness and isolation. Particularly, I think it's interesting to note Opal's relationship with her father and how that evolves over time. That's all I have for today, and thank you for listening.